Everyone, welcome once again to Sean's Horror Corner. Thank you so much for watching. I know I say that every time, don't mean to sound like a broken record, but I really do appreciate you guys taking the time to watch my videos, tuning in. Um, yeah, and for those of you that hit the like button, that comment, that interact with me, I really do appreciate that as well. I love the interaction with the horror community. That's again part of the reason I do this. It's just I love being a part of the horror community. Some amazing people I've met, and yeah. So if you haven't subscribed yet, hit that subscribe button. Help me out with that. Hit the like video on this one today. Comment. Today I'm going to be talking about my favorite horror movies of 2025. I'm going to give you my top 10 of 2025. So leave me some comments, and I'm sure I'll have some controversial ones in here. I always do, but let me know what some of your favorites were, what you think about my list. Yeah, anything really. Talk to me about anything at this point. So, yeah, we'll go ahead and get started with my top 10 of 2025. Now, something I want to mention first here is I've got a few honorable mentions that I'll mention as well, but I also wanted to just mention that there were a couple that I didn't see this year that I know were really big deals. Unfortunately, I just didn't get a chance to see everything. For example, what you will not hear on this list is The Long Walk. I know I've heard a lot of good things about that movie, but I unfortunately did not get to see that one. I'm a huge slasher fan. I did not see Strangers Chapter 2. Not heard a lot of good about that film, but I still want to see it anyway. I was trying to think of Bring Her Back. I only saw half of Bring Her Back, so you know can't really mention that one. Um, I was actually struggling with it, to be honest with you, so I don't think it would have made the list anyway. But there were some films this year that I enjoyed that didn't quite make my list, and I'm going to mention those first. My I guess honorable mentions. Dangerous Animals. We'll start with that one. I really enjoyed Dangerous Animals. I thought it was a good movie. It didn't blow me away. I guess maybe I was even maybe a little let down because I had heard so many great things about it that it was one of those that I think I let my expectations get a little too high, and so yeah, it just didn't quite do it for me. I mean, I enjoyed it. I didn't think it was a bad movie at all, but just not quite good enough to be in my top 10. Um, I've been a big fan of these public domain films, and I know Bambi came out this year. Peter Pan was out this year. I believe Screamboat was this year. I had a lot of fun with Screamboat. I enjoyed it. Peter Pan, I thought was actually pretty dark and creepy. I enjoyed that one. Bambi, I did not get to see. That's another one that I unfortunately missed. But yeah, there was one other, The Ugly Stepsister. I watched. I thought it was good. It was actually surprising. It was better than I expected. I had heard a lot of great things about that one. I did enjoy it. It didn't quite make my list either. So there's just a couple, like I said, Dangerous Animals, Peter Pan, The Ugly Stepsister. I felt like there was something else. Him, decent movie, but again, not quite at this place to be one of my favorites. Together, I think, was another one that came out in 2025 that I considered for a little while and then was like, maybe not. So, didn't quite make my list either, but it was, better than I expected. So there's just a few honorable mentions. But now we'll get into my actual top 10 for the year. So, number 10, here's where I want to start. This was a movie that I saw a trailer for, really didn't know what I thought initially. I don't remember what movie I even saw the trailer on, to be honest with you, but I wasn't sure. I never went to the theater and saw it. When it popped up and was streaming a few places, I kept putting it off because I was just like, I don't know. I have a feeling this movie is going to be really weird. And then I watched it and was very pleasantly surprised. I did not do an episode on it. I might do one here the next few weeks just to still cover it. But my number 10 for 2025 is Companion. I really was surprised by this movie and how much I enjoyed it. It was much better than I expected. I just drew a complete blank, and I feel terrible about that. But the actress in this movie, I thought, killed it. I thought she was phenomenal. Wow, I cannot remember her name. Sophie Thatcher, I believe, might be who that is. Now I want to look because I feel so bad that I just drew a blank on her name. But yeah, I really enjoyed Companion. I thought it was a little, it's not scary. It was not a scary film at all, but it was still enjoyable. I thought it had the cinematography was good. The performances were very solid. Um, Sorry, still trying to find what I'm looking for here. I really feel like that's who this is, but I might be wrong. Yeah, Sophie Thatcher. I'm not as lost as I thought it was. I thought again she was phenomenal in this film. I really enjoyed her performance. Um, there was some good kills, some good things that happened, a little twist here and there that threw me off a little bit. But yeah, overall, I had a lot of fun with it and enjoyed the film. And um, when I was making my list and I ended up putting it on there at number 10, I was even a little surprised myself that I had it in my top 10, but I really had fun with it. I even went back and rewatched it again just a couple of days ago to after I started working on this list to make sure that I wanted it in the list. And yeah, I really liked it. So Companion is my number 10. Number 9 for me for the year was again a movie that I went in this time with very low expectations. I wasn't sure what to think from a couple of trailers I saw, and then I was very impressed with this film as well. I thought it was pretty good, a couple of decent scares, and then just the ending and where the movie went. I thought was very impressive. Um, Also disturbing. But my number 9 is The Woman in the Yard. Again, I really enjoyed the movie much more than I thought it was. I was surprised that it went where it went. It got very dark. But I think the thing, and I think I talked about this before because I did do a review on this film last year. Um, Anyone who has ever struggled with mental health issues, with depression, with suicidal thoughts, anybody who's ever struggled with that kind of thing, um, I think this movie maybe even could trigger. I had struggled with those things in my past, and it didn't trigger me to go back into those areas, but it just really reminded me of how dark life could be and how rough life could be. And this movie just stirred something in me. I get really, it really reached me. Again, I thought there was some decent scares. I thought it was creepy. I thought the performances were very good in it as well. But I just really liked that it went where it went. I thought it got very dark, but also meaningful. And I think that's why I appreciated this movie as much as I did. So my number 9, The Woman in the Yard. My number 8 on my list, Wolfman, came out at the beginning of the year. I know a lot of people have shit on this film, but I actually really enjoyed it. I thought the movie was very good. Again, I liked the performances. I know that's one of the things that I've heard people talk negatively about were the performances in this film. I thought it was really good. I thought everybody did a good job. I liked this little bit different take on it. I mean, and if you've ever listened to me before, listened to some of my other episodes, you've probably heard me mention that I'm a huge fan of the Universal monsters. I wish we could have got the whole dark universe thing, but I guess the Mummy ruined that. But yeah, typically, I'm a big fan of movies that involve the Universal monsters. I really enjoyed the Invisible Man that came out a few years ago. Loved, even though he's not a Universal monster, but loved the Nosferatu film that came out in 2024. Um, the Frankenstein film that was on Netflix this year, that will not be on my list as well. So you're not going to hear me mention that. I was kind of disappointed with it, but yeah, I enjoyed Wolfman. Again, I know a lot of people didn't, but if you've listened to me much and you know me, my opinions are always a little bit different than most people. I don't, I'm not like most people. My taste is a little bit different, I guess. But yeah, I enjoyed the Wolfman. I thought we got some good scenery. The cinematography was really good. I thought the performances were good. I liked the look of the Wolfman. I liked the way they did that thing, the character, and then the way the creature for that film. I thought the sound was outstanding in this movie. I thought the score was really good. So yeah, there were a lot of things that I really liked about Wolfman. I don't know why it got so much hate and so much criticism, and I don't know, maybe you don't like it either. But I really enjoyed Wolfman, so I have it at number 8. My number 7 is Hard Eyes, a movie that you would think would be right down my alley with me being such a big slasher fan, and I did really enjoy this film. Um, the fact that it was kind of a rom-com horror film maybe hurt it a little bit for me, but I know that's what a lot of other people liked about it, and that's fine. I've talked about before, I'm not a huge fan of horror comedies. A lot of times they don't land for me. I thought this one was okay. The romance part that was in there was fine. The comedy was okay. But I thought we got some really good kills in the film. I liked the look of the Hard Eyes villain. I thought he looked good. yeah, I overall I really enjoyed the film. I didn't think the performances weren't quite as good as I guess maybe what I would have hoped for. But I mean, still, I've got it in my list, and I've got it at number seven. So, not bad. I still really enjoyed the film, and it's one that I've only watched once, which is kind of shocking. Normally, I would have seen this movie a second time already because I do a lot of rewatches and things, especially on slashers. But um, it's one that I think could grow on me. That the more I watch it, the more I might enjoy it. I don't think I expected the rom-com part of it to be mixed in with the horror, and so maybe that threw me off just a little bit and caused me to not like it quite as much as a lot of other people did. But I see it again, it's in my list. I still really enjoyed the film. So yeah, number seven for me was Hard Eyes. Number six, I'm going to catch shit for this one. I already know because I have heard so many people trash this film. um, I'm sure there are a few people out there that like it, but most of what I've heard about this movie has been negative. However, I enjoyed it and I liked where it went with the end. I liked the fact that uh, the killer reveal I actually enjoyed. So for me, number six is the I Know What You Did Last Summer reboot, whatever you want to call it. Again, probably doesn't surprise some people because a lot of people that have listened to me or watched my show or know me know that I'm a huge fan of Jennifer Love Hewitt. I absolutely adore Jennifer Love Hewitt. And I'm a huge fan of the first two movies in this franchise. Not a fan of the third one at all, but it's one that I kind of hoped we would get something else from eventually. To get this one and for her to be back in the film was fantastic as far as I was concerned. I thought the other performers were pretty good in the movie as well. I liked some of the new characters that we got introduced to. I again thought there were some good kills in this movie. I know some people didn't necessarily like the kills, and they weren't mind blowing, but I thought there were a couple that were pretty good. Um, I liked the story and where things were going. And then, if you haven't seen it, I'm sorry this is going to spoil something for you, but the one issue that I had with the first two films was the character of Ray. I am not a fan of Freddie Prinze Jr. I do not think he's a good actor, and I did not like Ray in the first movie or the second movie. So for them to do the twist where he's kind of lost it and becomes the killer in the third film because he wants people to remember. I know a lot of people hated that. They thought it was a very cheap, easy way out. I actually really enjoyed it. I was glad he was the killer and I was glad he got killed because I didn't like that character. So for them to go that route with him, it just kind of, I don't know, he solidified things for me. I was like, see, he was never that great. He was never that cool because he was capable of this kind of thing. So again, I really enjoyed I Know What You Did Last Summer. I hope they kind of gave us a little bit of a tease at the end, like we might get another film. I don't know if we will or not because I know this one didn't do very well, and I know a lot of other people do not like the movie. I enjoyed it. I hope we get something else. Anytime you give me Jennifer Love Hewitt as Julie James, I'm excited and want to see more. So I hope we get another film in this franchise. And yeah, I had this one at number six, so I know what else I can say there. Number five for me was the 28 Years Later film that came out this year. Um, Another film that I wasn't sure what to expect going into because it's been so long since we got a movie in that franchise. But I liked the first two movies. I'm not going to tell you that I loved either one of them. There are things about the first two films that I really enjoy, but there's things about them that I also don't necessarily enjoy. So I wasn't sure what to think going into this one. It had just been so long, and I had one, I believe it was a Saturday afternoon where I wasn't doing anything and I was trying to decide if I was going to go see this movie. And so I finally went to matinee and watched 28 Years Later and came out um, super impressed. It's my favorite film in the franchise so far. I thought the Infected were great. um, I thought there was some really good tension in this movie, some good scares. It was creepy at times. Um, I thought the young actor that played the lead in the film was phenomenal. Um, yeah, there were just so many. The cinematography was outstanding. I thought the score was good again. There were so many things about this movie, and it just jumped right in from the beginning. I feel like the beginnings of these movies are always really good, and this one was top notch. I loved the opening for the film. Again, loved the performances, loved the cinematography. Uh, had some good tension and some good moments. Like I really was pleased and overall surprised with this movie and how much I enjoyed it. Uh, yeah, it makes me want to go back to at some point. I haven't done. Well, I take that back. I did do a quick spoiler-free episode on this one after I watched it. I'll probably go back and review all three of these movies in a little more detail at some point on my channel, maybe a little later on this year. But yeah, I really enjoyed 28 Years Later. I thought it was so good. So I have it at number 5. Number 4 for me, another movie from a franchise that I wasn't sure what to expect. It was a franchise that I really enjoyed for quite some time, but I thought the last 2 movies in the franchise dropped off quite a bit, and so I was a little concerned with this one because again, this was a franchise that I had really enjoyed until its 2 more recent films, and I was like, I'm still going to go see it. We'll see what happens. But yeah, for me, number 4, Final Destination Bloodlines. I really enjoyed Final Destination Bloodlines. I thought it was so much fun. Some great kills, probably some of the best kills of the year. Sorry, I got my mind just went totally elsewhere for a minute because I just remembered a movie that I really enjoyed that I did not put in my list. So I'll give it an honorable mention here if you want at the end, because it probably would have made it. It would have knocked Companion out of the list, but we'll come back to that. Sorry, that's the way my brain works. I can't believe I forgot this film. Yeah, back to Final Destination. I thought the kills were phenomenal. My favorite kill in any movie this year came from this film. I absolutely loved that MRI scene with the piercings and the guy getting pulled in that way. I thought this movie. I liked the opening, a very long opening for this film, but again, the openings for these movies are always, well, I say always, most of the time are pretty good. And I thought this one was fantastic. I really liked the way we got started with this one, and then to kind of take it the way we did was a little different than some of the other films because it's not that particular character from the opening that we're following through the whole film. So I kind of liked that little bit of a difference that they did. But again, really enjoyed the kills. Thought this movie was a lot of fun. Yeah, I was very pleasantly surprised, and this is probably going to be one of my favorites in that franchise. I need to go back and do a rewatch on this franchise at some point because this one's right up there at the top as far as I'm concerned. Again, really enjoyed Final Destination Bloodline, so that's my number 4. Number 3 on my list is a movie that I know a lot of people would have at number 1. I completely understand that because it's a phenomenal film. I just had one issue with it. So number 3 for me is Sinners. Outstanding movie. I'm not taking anything away from this film. It's a really good movie. Cinematography phenomenal, performances phenomenal, score phenomenal, good kills, creepy moments. Yeah, really, really good. My only issue with this film is that the movie is about 2 hours long, and the first hour is not a horror movie. The first half of this film is really more of a drama period piece. I mean, there's a lot to it, and it's good. It's a good. I'm not saying I didn't enjoy the first half of the film. I did. I just kept thinking through the first hour of this movie, this is not a horror movie. Like there's at all. It's a good movie, but this is not a horror movie. Now things do change tremendously, and it gets incredibly entertaining and does bring that horror in the second half of the film. I couldn't move it any higher than 3 because when I'm talking about my favorite horror movies of the year, to have a movie that for an hour is not horror, I just couldn't see putting it any higher than this. So I have Sinners at number 3, but again, I totally understand anybody that would have it higher. That gets us to the top 2. So number 2 for me, another film that I've kind of heard mixed reviews about. I know there's some people out there that really enjoyed it. I've heard other people out there that did not, but I was blown away. I thought the movie was fantastic, and that is Black Phone 2. I loved this movie, enjoy it more than the first one, and I really like the first one. Again, I think the performances are fantastic, especially, and I just drew a blank on another name. Not a good day for me name-wise, but the girl in the film is phenomenal. She steals the show in this movie. I thought, again, we got some good kills. I liked the way the grabber looked in this movie. I mean, similar to the first, but a little bit different. Now, yes, he's definitely more Freddy-like in this film. This is almost like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie in a way. But and I love that franchise, so maybe that's part of why I enjoyed this so much was getting something that reminded me of that. But I think the Grabber is outstanding, one of the best villains of the year. Um, Again, just really liked a lot of this movie. I like the cinematography. I like some of the settings and the scenery we got. Um, Loved the story and where they went with that. Uh, Thought there were some good tense moments. Don't know that I would say scary, but there was some suspense and some tension here and there. And again, yeah, just I really, really enjoyed this movie. I walked out of the theater watching this and immediately wanted to go back in and watch it again. I just was blown away. I went back and watched the first film like the next day. And I'm like, yeah, I love this first movie. It's really good, but that second one was just phenomenal. So, yeah, huge, huge fan of Black Phone 2. Absolutely loved everything about it. Just yeah, almost flawless in my opinion. This for this movie, so really appreciated it so much, and didn't expect to enjoy it as much as I did, but absolutely loved it. So Black Phone 2 is my number two. Now, before I mention my number one, I want to go back and give one more honorable mention. The one that I told you I lost my brain a while ago and forgot. I can't because I initially wrote it down on another piece of paper and then I misplaced that paper, so I started trying to get this together again real quick. I completely left off Silent Night, Deadly Night. Maybe it would have made the top 10. I don't know if it would have or not. I feel like it probably would have because I really enjoyed the Silent Night, Deadly Night remake. I loved the way they did that. It's definitely an honorable mention. Um, Probably should have been in the top 10. I liked Billy in this movie, and I was not a fan of that actor after Halloween Ends, but I loved him in this film. I thought we got good kills, loved the story, loved the way everything played out. A couple of things I questioned throughout the movie here and there, but they were pretty minor, I feel like, compared to how much every time something would happen that I would question, something else would happen, and I was just like, oh, wow, that was awesome. So, yeah, I enjoyed the biggest part of the film. I really thought it was really good. Fantastic remake. I think I did an episode on it. I think I gave it an 8 out of 10. I really, really liked the film. It probably should be in my top 10. I can't believe I forgot it when I was working on my list here, but definitely an honorable mention to Silent Night, Deadly Night. All right, that only leaves one movie. Probably easy to figure out what it is by this point because I feel like it'll be in a lot of people's at least top five for the year, and that is Weapons. I came out of the theater after watching Weapons completely blown away. I went in again, not really knowing what to expect. I had seen some trailers, I had heard a couple of things, but I don't know. I just went into the film like I really don't. Again, it's another movie that I went and watched by myself during the day on a weekend. Just because I was kind of trying to decide, and I'm like, yeah, I should probably go see this. So I went to see it, and yeah, you've heard me say a million times that I prefer slashers. Slashers are always my favorite movies, but this movie completely blew me away. Better than any of the slasher films I saw this year. I thought the performances were fantastic. I loved the story. I loved getting the perspective of different people throughout the film. I really appreciated that. I thought that was excellent for this movie. I thought the cinematography was good. I thought it was creepy, and GLaDOS is a fantastic villain. Really liked that performance as well. Ending was good, kind of crazy and funny at the end with that last kill. I was like, wow, we just got crazy all of a sudden there for a movie that had been pretty serious and um, tense and kind of dark. The ending was a little crazy, but I still enjoyed it. It was fun. But yeah, there was just so many things about this movie I enjoyed. The another scene that I thought was one of the scariest scenes of the year. The scene where the girl wakes up from her dream and GLaDOS is there above her. There's another scene in this movie where she's the main actress is sitting in her car outside of a house and she kind of falls asleep and we see somebody come out of her front door and we think they're going to come get in her car. They've got like a knife, I think, or scissors or something in their hand, and then they kind of disappear around the car and you just don't know what's going on. It's very creepy. There were just there's so much of this movie that I thought was absolutely amazing. I thought it was such a fantastic film. I came out completely blown away. Did not expect to like this movie anywhere near as much as I did. And I feel like every movie I watched for the rest of the year after going to see Weapons, I was comparing two weapons. Even the ones that I enjoyed, I was like, yeah, that was good. Not as good as Weapons, but it was good. And I feel like that's just what my thought process was for the rest of the year after watching Weapons. Everything I watched afterwards in my head, no matter how good it wasn't as good as Weapons. I mean, that's just what I kept comparing everything to. I was blown away by Weapons, a phenomenal movie, in my opinion. Um, a perfect movie, so good for it to not be a slasher. I don't know if I could like a movie that's not a slasher as much as I liked this movie. I was just completely blown away and completely loved Weapons. So good. So there we have it, my top 10 of 2025. I'll recap it again. Silent Night, Deadly Night probably should have been in there, but wasn't. Number 10, Companion. Number 9, Woman in the Yard. Number 8, The Wolfman. Number 7, Hard Eyes. Number 6, I Know It Rains. Number 3, Sinners. Number 2, The Black Phone 2. And number 1, Weapons. That's my top 10 of 2025. Now I'd like to know what you think. Tell me what some of your favorite movies were of the year. What were you disappointed with? What did you love? Who were some of your favorite characters and villains and kills? I want to know what you think about horror in 2025 and even what you're excited about for 2026. So please leave me some comments. Subscribe if you haven't done so. Like today's video. Hit that hype button for me even to help me out. Leave me some comments. Follow me on social media. I'm pretty much on everything out there. Blue Sky, Instagram, Threads, TikTok, X. I have Letterboxd. Yeah, pretty much everything. So follow me on social media. I do try to follow back as much as possible. And again, if you haven't subscribed, please do so. We've got some great episodes coming up to end the month. Here in a couple of days, I'll be back to talk about the 1986 April Fool's Day old school slasher movie. My friends Rob and Kaylee from That Horror Couple are coming back. We're going through the Friday the 13th franchise. We're going to be talking about Friday the 13th Part 3. I also have the Final Girls coming back with me. Kelly and Sarah, we're going to be talking about Jeepers Creepers 3. Brendan and hopefully Sam will be back in February to talk Scream 4, Scream 5, and even Scream 6 with me before the new one kicks off. A lot of fun stuff coming up. Don't miss the award show that Our Life in Horror has coming up next month. I get lucky enough to be a guest on that. So a lot of fun stuff coming. Hit subscribe so you don't miss anything. So I'll wrap this up. I'll stop talking now and be back in a couple of days to talk with you about April Fool's Day. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you soon.